Eating sushi out can be expensive, but making it home can be cheaper than you think. Thanks to Alaru H for the suggestion to make some sushi on a budget. So today I'm going to make 10 rolls of sushi for $12.75. Now, if you wanted this to be even cheaper, you could make it for $7.26 using regular rice, a cucumber, an avocado, imitation crab, and some seaweed wrap. Now you could use one of these bamboo sushi rollers, but I actually found that the parchment paper worked better than the roller in order to roll up your sushi rolls. I started off by slicing my avocado. I did it really thinly, that way it would be very flexible, and it also lasts through several of the rolls. It really stretches when you cut the vegetables very thinly. I also sliced up my cucumber, and I used a peeler to also make some slices of the same cucumber in thinner, more wide strips. That way it's going to add a different variety and a different texture to each roll. Next, I got to work on slicing up my crab legs. This imitation crab is amazing because it's only $1 and you get 4 slices. So I ended up slicing them rather thinly, and that helped them to stretch out throughout all the rolls. If you want more crab legs, of course, you can buy more, and it is actually pretty inexpensive as well, so that's helpful. With the seaweed wrappers, you're going to want that shiny side to be down and the side that is more textured to be facing up. That way all that texture can help hug your rice and keep your rice from rolling all over the place. When you spread out your rice, you're going to want to keep about 2 inches at the top of the roll just bare without any rice on it. That's going to help the seaweed paper to stick to itself and help seal your roll. Then you're going to go ahead and start sticking on all of your delicious toppings. These you're going to want to stick in the middle of your rice, so that way it has an inch or two from the bottom that is just the rice. That way when you roll it up, all of your ingredients will be in the middle. If you put the ingredients all the way at the edge on the bottom, they won't be centered inside of your roll, which the roll will still taste fine, it just won't be as symmetrical. Then go ahead and start rolling up your roll. As you roll, you're going to be peeling back that paper slightly, just so that when you're rolling it up, it doesn't get stuck inside of the roll. After you've finished rolling it all the way, you're going to make sure you're pressing down evenly and kind of pushing the roll into itself. Then you're going to keep the seam side down and go ahead and start slicing off your roll. I went ahead and tried out using a serrated knife. I also used a straight edge knife. I wanted to see which one worked better. I also saw recommendations to wet your knife, which I found to be very helpful. So definitely wet your knife in between your slices. That way the slices will come off more cleanly and it won't stick to the wrapper and tear the wrapper when you are slicing through. I found the serrated knife to be a lot easier. Now I made this roll with regular rice, not sushi rice, and I did find after making everything with sushi rice in later recipes that it wasn't as good. So I did get sushi rice, but in the end I chose to keep the price at using regular rice because making all of this again, I would choose to use regular rice. A tip for stretching your budget on this meal is if you have any leftover soy sauce packets or other condiment packets, it will help you when you're making all of these different rolls to add some variety and different flavors. You're going to need a little vinegar, a little bit of sugar in your rice to mimic the flavor of rice vinegar, which I didn't have on hand, but I did have vinegar and I had sugar and salt, which is what I added. As always, exact measurements and ingredients will be down below. If you're wanting to make these rolls vegetarian, as you saw, you could get a 6-pack thing of eggs and make little scrambled egg sticks and use that in place of any of the crab in all these recipes. For my other rolls, I went ahead and started slicing up and thinly sliced that carrot as you saw. I also started to make my pickled ginger. I love pickled ginger, which normally it uses baby ginger, which is why it turns pink, I discovered, is because it has a little bit of a pink coloring on it when it's the baby ginger, but you can use adult ginger, and that's what I used. So I went ahead and added some vinegar, some sugar, and some salt to my pan, and went ahead and brought that to a boil, and then added in my ginger to all of that, and I just boiled it for about 4 minutes. You're going to want to, if it's adult ginger and not baby ginger, you're going to want to boil it just a little bit longer as the recipe calls for, and that recipe of course is in the description. I also dry toasted some sesame seeds in a pan. I didn't add any oils, I just let them naturally brown over a medium heat, and I stirred them constantly to make sure they browned evenly. Here's me attempting to use that bamboo roller. I think maybe if I had wet it, it might not have stuck so bad. And also if I had used the seaweed sheets on the roller, that it might have rolled a little better. But I was trying to make those types of rolls that have the white on the outside, the white rice, and you have the seaweed inside. However, this didn't quite work out for me because when I went to slice it, it was extremely difficult to slice. So I chickened out a little bit, and I stuck the other half of that seaweed on top just to help me when I was slicing it, to be able to slice through instead of having the rice stick to the knife and everything falling apart as I was slicing the slices off. It was at this point that I definitely decided that the parchment paper was way better at being able to roll up the different wraps without it being way too sticky and just unmanageable and falling apart. As you can see, a lot of rice stuck to that bamboo roller, so I went ahead and switched all the way over to doing it using the parchment paper. Next, I went ahead and started slicing up my roll, and as you can see, it made a beautiful centered roll. It has the sesame seed on the bottom, and then that rice paper, or I should say the nori wrapper on top, was really helpful in helping me be able to slice everything up. Then I just started successively making each roll with whatever fillings I wanted, everything avocado, cream cheese. I love the cream cheese inside the rolls. I think it just adds such a nice creaminess inside each of the rolls and really helps everything to stay together as well. And I added in some of that carrot to add that vibrant color and also a little bit of crunch. I love the freshness of the avocado and the cucumber in all the rolls. And the crab meat is a really fun flavor that you don't typically get in a lot of meals, especially not a lot of budget meals from what I found. So I enjoy having that in this meal, and it made a whole lot of sushi. I didn't even get to make all 10 rolls because there's no way we would have been able to eat all 10 rolls, but we have the opportunity to make all 10 rolls, and that's what's going to matter for anybody trying to make this meal on a budget, is to be able to have the chance to make as much sushi as you want and to be able to enjoy it without the price tag that eating out, especially if you are a larger family, is going to come with. This makes a really fun, easy weeknight dinner as well, because you can keep the sushi in the fridge and then eat it the next night, and it's already pre-made. So if you're wanting something that's going to be fun, fast, well balanced, and filling, that's going to not take a lot of time later on in the week, this is a good option, because I just stuck this on the board and then put saran wrap over the top, and we had it several nights in a row. It was really delicious. I even attempted to make a spicy crab salad roll by just shredding up a couple of the crab sticks from the imitation crab, and then added a little bit of this whipped dressing, which is a little bit like Miracle Whip. I was hoping it would mimic Kewpie mayo, which is a mayo that uses yolks mostly instead of the whole egg with the egg white, and also is a little sweeter. And then I tried to add in a little bit of hot sauce. I didn't have anything that was the type of hot sauce that I really should have added, so I'm not sure that this was the greatest crab salad, but it tasted fine inside of this, and it was a good experiment. Let me know down below, what's your favorite thing to have in sushi, if you like sushi. Oh, and by the way, I keep on calling this sushi. I know it's really Maki, Sushi is where it has the raw fish in it. Maki is where it has anything else in it, basically, that's not raw fish, since we aren't using any raw fish in these because, for one, I don't trust myself around raw fish to be able to properly care for it and, you know, preserve it in such a way that people wouldn't get sick. I don't know. I'm just a little skeptical on how well I could do that and how well cheaply made fish would be. So I just did not even attempt to go there. But if you have the money and you have the know-how to take freshly made fish or sushi roll quality fish and use them in these rolls, they would go really well in these recipes as well. And here is our finished platter. As you can see, we made a whole lot of sushi. We had some leftover avocado that I used to garnish, our little containers of yum yum sauce, which I drizzled that one roll, the spicy roll, with the yum yum sauce as well. The pickled ginger that you can see on the right is really delicious. Now that I know how simple it is to make, you can betcha I'm going to be making it again and again. And we had so much sushi. We ate it for several nights and it was delicious every time. So I hope you get to make these rolls and try this out. It really was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Thank you to Aliru H again, and thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all in the next one.